The world was white and silent. Snow fell without sound, swallowing the mountain road in thick, drifting sheets. Officer Ryan Hale saw it. A dark shape standing motionless in the middle of the frozen highway. Not debris, not trash. A dog, blindfolded, trembling, blood streaking down one leg, fur matted with ice. He stood like he was waiting for someone who would never come. Then, as the headlights washed over him, he took one shaky step forward and collapsed. Beside him, half buried in snow, a red backpack zipped tight, guarding a secret no one was ready to hear. It was just before dawn, the kind of cold that bites through steel. Ryan had been patrolling an isolated stretch of backcountry road, the storm cutting off radio signals and cell towers alike. Winter duty was usually quiet, too quiet, but something tonight felt different. His instincts had been humming since he left base. When he spotted the figure in the road, his pulse spiked. At first, he thought it was wreckage from the storm. But as he slowed, the shape resolved into something far worse. A German shepherd, standing perfectly still, eyes covered by a soaked cloth, legs shaking beneath him. No collar, no tags, just a torn tactical vest clinging to his frame, the faded insignia of AK 9 unit barely visible under frost. Ryan slammed the brakes and jumped out, boots crunching on snow. The wind howled, but the dog didn't flinch, didn't growl, didn't run. He just stood there, breathing hard, as if holding on by a single thread. Ryan dropped to one knee, voice soft. "Hey, buddy, it's okay. I'm here." The dog's ears twitched. He lowered himself slowly, then nudged a red backpack beside him with his nose. Blood dripped from a gash on his leg. Old bruises marked his ribs. This wasn't abandonment. This was betrayal. Someone had done this on purpose. And yet, the dog guarded that bag like it held the last piece of his soul. Ryan carefully untied the blindfold. The moment it slipped away, the shepherd blinked against the snowlight, pupils dilating with exhaustion and fear. His eyes told a story of loyalty, of loss, of walking miles through hell just to deliver one final message. Ryan unzipped the backpack with trembling hands. Inside, a folded blanket, a metal water bowl, a plastic folder, and one envelope, sealed, labeled in shaky handwriting, "To the officer who finds my partner." He opened it. The first line hit like a punch. Asterisk, if you're reading this. I didn't make it. Please save him. He has no one else. Asterisk. Ryan's breath caught. He looked at the dog. The dog looked back, eyes wide, pleading, broken. Inside the folder were photos. Shadow, his name written on the vest, sitting proudly beside a young soldier in uniform. Both smiling, arms around each other like brothers. Another, Shadow receiving a medal for bravery overseas. Then a hospital room. The same man, pale and weak, hand resting on Shadow's head. The dog's eyes filled with terror, as if he already knew what was coming. Beneath them, pages from a notebook, handwritten entries from Sergeant Michael Rohr. Asterisk. Day 3. We made it 5 miles. He keeps me moving. Day 6. Can't walk much further. Leaving him the pack. Trained him to go to the road. If he's alive, he's still fighting. Asterisk. Ryan's throat burned. This wasn't escape. It was a final mission. Back in the patrol car, heat blasting, Shadow curled on the floorboard, shivering despite the warmth. Every few seconds, he lifted his head to check. The red backpack was still there, still safe. Ryan radioed dispatch, heart pounding. "Run a name for me. Sergeant Michael Rohr." Minutes passed. Then the reply, "Deceased. 2 days ago. Car accident on Route 9. His K9 was listed missing." A pause. Family declined custody. Said they couldn't handle a traumatized service dog. Ryan clenched the wheel. They didn't just refuse him. They discarded him. But Shadow hadn't given up. Even blindfolded, injured, grieving, he carried out his handler's last order. Then Shadow stirred. Ears pricked. He whimpered at the window, nudging the door with his nose. "You want to go back out?" Ryan asked. The dog stood, limping but insistent. So Ryan followed, flashlight cutting through the storm. Shadow led him off the road, through brittle bushes, over a ridge, stopping at a fallen tree. He pawed at the snow. Ryan knelt and brushed it aside, Another red backpack identical. Inside, medical supplies, an empty water bottle, a folded jacket with Sergeant M. Roar stitched on the collar. And a note. Asterisk if Shadow made it here. He hasn't given up. Please take him home. Asterisk this was their destination, a memorial site. They were so close. And now, Shadow had brought someone back to finish what they started. Ryan carried him to the car, the second backpack pressed to his chest like sacred ground. Later, at the station, officers gathered around Shadow. Some wiped their eyes. Word spread fast. A retired K-9, heartbroken and wounded, walked miles through a blizzard to fulfill his handler's final wish. The department held a small ceremony. Shadow limped to the memorial wall, rested his head beneath Sergeant Roar's photo, silent, grieving, loyal until the end. Ryan knelt beside him. He's gone, buddy. But you're not. Shadow turned, pressing his nose into Ryan's chest, as if finally letting go. The sheriff stepped forward. He needs a home, Ryan. A real one. Ryan didn't hesitate. He already has one. That night, they drove away together. Shadow curled against Ryan's side, eyes closed, breathing steady. No blindfold, no pain, just warmth, just peace. A dog who'd carried grief through the snow had found someone who would never leave him behind. But the full truth hadn't surfaced yet. Over the next few days, Ryan studied every page, every photo, piecing together the journey these two had taken. Sergeant Michael Roar had served 3 tours overseas with Shadow at his side. Together, they'd uncovered explosives, saved lives, survived ambushes. When Michael was honorably discharged due to a spinal injury, Shadow was retired too. They moved to the mountains, seeking quiet. But cancer followed. Diagnosed 6 months ago. Terminal. Michael knew he wouldn't make it, but he also knew Shadow wouldn't survive without purpose. So he trained him. One last mission. Taught him to follow the trail to the war memorial. The place where Michael had promised to return one day. He packed 2 red backpacks. One for Shadow, one hidden along the route. Left instructions in notebooks, hidden in waterproof sleeves. When Michael's condition worsened, he loaded the packs into his truck, drove deep into the mountains, collapsed during the storm. With his last strength, he blindfolded Shadow so he wouldn't see him die. Left him with the first pack. Whispered, go to the road. Find help. Finish our mission. And Shadow did. For hours, blind and bleeding, he walked, guided by training, by love, by the memory of a man who meant everything. When Ryan learned all this, he visited the crash site. Found the abandoned truck half buried in snow. Inside, a journal. Final entry. Asterisk, I don't fear death. I fear leaving him alone. If you find this, please don't let it be forgotten. He's not just a dog. He's my brother. Asterisk. Ryan brought the journal back. Showed it to the chief. Within hours, a formal request was filed. Officer Ryan Hale petitioned to adopt Shadow, not just as a pet, but as a fellow officer. Honorary K-9. The department approved unanimously. They began rebuilding. Shadow had deep trauma, nightmares, flinching at loud sounds, refusing to eat unless Ryan sat beside him. But progress came in quiet moments. The first time Shadow wagged his tail, over a shared meal. The first time he followed Ryan outside, without hesitation. The first morning he rested his head on Ryan's lap, eyes finally at peace. Therapy helped. So did routine. Walks. Training drills. Slowly, the light returned to his eyes. Months later, on the anniversary of Michael's passing, Ryan drove back to the memorial. This time, Shadow walked beside him. No leash. He stopped at the engraved stone, sniffed the base, then lay down quietly, as if keeping watch. Ryan placed a single dog tag on the plaque, engraved with both names. A moment of silence. Then, at the gentle nudge, Shadow stood, turned, and walked toward the car, ready to go home. That night, Ryan posted a short video online, just footage of Shadow sleeping peacefully by the fireplace, the red backpack resting nearby, worn but preserved. Caption. Asterisk, he carried a hero's final wish. Now he carries hope for others like him. Asterisk, the video went viral. Thousands shared it. Messages poured in from veterans, handlers, animal lovers. One woman wrote, My father was a K-9 handler. He never spoke of his dog after retirement. This story made him cry for the first time in 20 years. Ryan started a foundation in Sergeant Rohr's name, dedicated to supporting retired police and military dogs, especially those with trauma. Donations flooded in. Rescue groups partnered. Shadow became the face of the campaign, gentle, dignified, a living testament to loyalty beyond duty. He attended events, met children, comforted grieving families. Never once did he forget where he came from, but he learned to carry it without breaking. If this story touched your heart, hit like, share, and subscribe. These moments matter. They remind us that courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's a dog standing in the snow, guarding a backpack, waiting for someone to care. And tell me, where are you watching from? Drop your country below. These stories travel because you carry them. Together, we heal one rescued soul at a time.